Day 43 of the cut. Kind of feel like balls today due to a lack of sleep, but sitting at 264, which is kind of cool considering that I'm still eating 3,000 calories a day. Because the last time I was 264 on the last segment of the cut, calories were much, much, much lower than this. So it's very exciting to know that we got more than a couple levers we still could pull. And today is my main bench day. Not feeling creative enough to think of any sort of fancy variation, so screw it, we're just gonna do some comp benching. It's been a while since I've done any sort of comp bench pushing, so might be good for me. And with the state of both hungriness and sleepiness going on right now, I'm not expecting this to be exceptionally heavy or feel exceptionally good. So what I'm trying to pay attention to is how connected does my groove feel and what does execution look like. And I mean, I shouldn't get too excited after 135, but that feels pretty damn right. And right shoulder, opposite side of where I had the pec tear, feels like 2 out of 10. Not fantastic, but other than that, holy freaking shit, I'm shocked with how connected this is. And based on what I was saying at the beginning, like, does not feel exceptionally light for 315, doesn't feel exceptionally good, but it does feel like I'm able to be assertive over groove. Upper back catch feels on point, and nothing feels sketchy. So yeah, I think that what I'm doing for bench right now, I'm at least on the right track, even if I am a hungry, skinny boy.
Office Seth here to remind you that the low back biomechanics and training lecture is happening live inside of Team Activated, with the recording being uploaded exclusively for the team. So hit that link below, sign up, learn, get feedback, get mentorship, get better at powerlifting. I promise you, you will learn something that will make you a better lifter.
And I think one of the bigger things with being able to actually execute a substantial weight loss phase as a powerlifter is that if you let feeling like that and not feeling super strong freak you out, you will fail every single time, because getting weaker, if you are cutting calories hard, if you are losing a lot of weight, it will be an inevitability. And if you let that get in your head and you make that a reason to think like, I need to add calories, I need to stop doing cardio, I need to back off from this cut so I can feel strong again, that is going to set you off track. And I've had many cuts where feeling like that made me stop, and that's why I wasn't able to get lean previously. But what I've realized is that feeling like that, it's just part of the process, and I need to get through feeling like that if I want to get to where I want to go. And I guess where I want to go next is onto some dumbbell floor press again. Dumbbell area is really cluttered, so rolling them over here so we can do the floor presses.
Started to up a little bit. Like I can hear it in your voice.
Oh man.
What'd you say?
Huh?
What'd you say?
That was a quick tree.
And plan here is just go until it gets really freaking hard. Adequate effort achieved. And at this point, I don't know if I'm happy with this or not, but I did not forget that I'm supposed to do machine press in this slot today. Plan is to run a similar ascending set protocol to what we're doing on the hacks and leg press on the weekend, so we can make the pecs feel juicy before we touch something heavy. And like, aside from the pump and the fun and the feel good, I think that this style of loading protocol is going to help me build a much better base for when I get back to the point where I actually feel capable of pushing really heavy stuff kind of hard. And I mean, with that said, it definitely doesn't feel like we're taking it easier on here anyways. And feeling too brain dead to have anything extremely profound to say to the camera right now, but we got 3.5 on the machine, so I guess nothing to do but go press it. And then it's like on these days when you know you feel like ass, you know you feel tired, you know shit ain't feeling good. The most important thing is try to have some freaking fun with it. Because if you have a little bit of fun digging in despite it feeling bad, it's gonna feel less bad and you're gonna be able to do a little bit better. And figuring with the feels, we're gonna pyramid up on the rollins again, except this time I'm gonna start 65, so a little bit lighter, and crank the reps a little bit higher and just make sure the elbows feel nice and juicy. Okay, 75s. '85 time. And screw it, hundos will wake up and do good. I mean, kind of sucked, but it was fun. And speaking of having fun with it, feeling like shit, we're back on this stupid machine. And I know I say this every time, but the freaking strength curve just sucks so much at the top, but that's also where I need to get stronger, so we're gonna continue getting stronger with it. We gotta go up first though, because that was too light. We're gonna get better at these one day, I swear. And probably gonna just run the rack run protocol until I get bored because it feels really nice. And I swear that since I've been doing it, it kind of looks like my delts are almost getting bigger, maybe. So I don't know. I like this kind of work. So I'm going to do this kind of work because if I like this kind of work, I'm probably going to work harder, which is probably going to let me do better with it. You know? 25s. '30s. '35s. And I don't care how ugly this gets, we're grabbing 40s. Am I training hip thrust or am I training delts right now? I don't know anymore. And the downside of grabbing the 40s for the fronties is I gotta start the side raises with 40s before we go back down. So, yay. $35s. $30s. $25s. $20s are in use, so 22 and a half. Yeah, nothing left. And delt raises are definitely a movement where it feels so much freaking better to blast the pumpy stuff rather than going super duper ultra heavy. And for some rear delt, upper back touching, gonna go wide and spready on this thing. And I'm so glad I got over my fear of this machine the other day because I don't know, I haven't used it for freaking ever, and it does feel nice. It's just inconvenient to have to put plates on both sides for something that's machine based. I don't know. Maybe I'm just lazy. And what I'm trying to do here, in addition to the spread, is trying to guide my elbow up and push my hand low so I'm pulling myself into some shoulder IR as I'm running the row. And like, that isn't directly better for the rear delts, but I think it is a lot better for having the range of motion control necessary to bench press well. And this might be too heavy, but fuck it. And we'll finish up the upper back touching with some stretchy, squeezy BTNs. And when I posted these as a short, had some comments being like, isn't that inherently bad for the rotator cuff? And like, yeah, these do have a very bad rap as a movement that can be hard on shoulders, but the fact that they can be hard on shoulders is the entire reason that I want to do them, because if I can gain control and access to the range of motion that kind of sucks right now, my shoulders are going to be better off in the long term. And the reason why these get such a bad rap is that, yeah, it is a vulnerable position, and then so many assholes just want to load up as much as they can and just like round over and just like yank like that and shove the bar into the back of their neck. Like, you're doing that, no shit, your shoulders are going to hurt. But if we're going at it with a trying to control that range and recognize that the range is vulnerable with the goal of just slowly getting better, slowly getting more comfortable, we can make these feel very freaking therapeutic. Plus, you get better at pulling at the bottom of a squat bar too, which is just a added bonus. And what'll help you a little bit too is like what I'm doing, I'm trying to like hip flexion ab forward so that it's more behind, so like the tower is pulling me backwards.
Okay.
And then I can keep the head really packed and just pull straight down.
When I pumped up, I thought I was trying to keep my rooms down at the same
Well, like
time.
everything down.
Like you're squatting.
Yep.
Like I feel good when my abs and things.
Yeah, it takes a lot more to get this six pack stimulated. Say.
And I've been putting off secondary triceps because the cable stack that I like to do triceps on has been occupied. So I figured we'll just come back over here and run the bands again. Except instead of the ratty old blues, we got a fresh pair of grays. Not sure if this is going to be harder or easier than the worn out blues. So we're in for an adventure. Actually, that's much easier than I was hoping for. I might have to scale this up a little, or just run higher reps and get a little lower. Yeah, lower is better. More tension, more stretch. And that felt more like I was able to actually work versus just trying not to die like I was with the blues the other week. And if anyone is concerned with my apparent lack of biceps training right now, I've been doing it after cardio at the commercial gym in the morning. So don't worry, guys. The arms aren't going to shrink too much through this cut. And I think these are getting more important if I am going to be nudging the stance out just a tiny bit to run the flats. Got to make sure adductors are strong to support the slightly wider squattage. And these kind of days where like I'm feeling really low, I really don't want to vlog them. Like all I want to do is just like plug my headphones in, crank music up, and just get to work and get in the zone and lock in, because I know that if I just put my headphones in and lock in, like the session is probably going to feel easier and feel smoother. Because if I have to force myself to know what to say to a camera when I don't know what the fuck to say to the camera, it's really difficult sometimes and it's really uncomfortable. And I really don't like it when I don't feel like doing it. But when I get to the end of these sessions, I always feel proud of myself for doing it. And I think the reason that doing it is important is that if you want to accomplish anything noteworthy in life, like you're going to have to figure out how to do a bunch of things that you really don't feel like doing. And if not feeling like doing something is enough reason to not do the productive thing that you need to do, you're never going to do the productive thing that you need to do, and you're never going to produce the results that would come from doing that thing. So I think that like forcing myself to do this little thing that I'm a little bit uncomfortable with and isn't really all that big of a deal, even though it feels like a big deal, by forcing myself to do it, like it's going to carry over better to digging in and being able to do the work when I really need to do the work, when I really don't want to do the work, when it is something more important than just talking to a camera during a training session. So even if this kind of is like a frivolous task, I think the fact that I'm able to wrap my head around it, get done, do a decent job, I think that is valuable. And I think if you guys are going to get anything out of these sessions where I don't feel very good or don't do very good, it's like, yeah, so what? Still got a job to do, so we're going to do it. Peace out, guys. Have a good rest of your night.